This is just a quick video that I wanted to show you on how to remove caked on grease and rust on tools, how to clean it off. And it's a little bit of a lengthy process, not too difficult, just a little bit longer because you have to let each stage soak. So what I've got here is I had an old rusty toolbox that my wife's grandpa had full of tools, and I took it, and there's some good tools in there, and there's some cheap, Taiwanese tools in there that I'll probably just get rid of, but there was some Craftsman and Proto in there and stuff too, so I didn't want to just throw them away. And so what I've got going here is initially to get all the grease off. I don't know if you can see it, the light's not great here. But to get all the grease off, I've soaked it in just some dishwashing detergent overnight, and that pretty much makes it soft enough that you can just rub it off with a sponge. You see I've just got a little sponge here with the scrubby on the back, gets the grease right off. And then after I get the grease off, I move it to this bucket here that's about 1 to 5 parts water and CLR. So I've got CLR here that has been soaking for about 24 hours, and it gets most of the rust off right away. You could just wipe it off with a towel. If it's really deep pitted rust, or if the tools are very detailed, then you might have to scrub them with a wire brush or a wire wheel on a bench grinder. But for the most part, it comes right off. I don't know if you can see it or not. I'll try to move it out in the sun. I don't think I'm getting a good picture of it, but on top of the CLR, sometimes there'll be a little bit of a foam where the reaction has been taking place to get the CLRs eating the rust off. So it'd probably work a little bit faster if it was a huge concentration of CLR, 100% solution, but the fact of the matter is I only had a little bit left, so I mixed it in with some water so I could get it to fill up high enough that I could let the tools soak in there. Here's the bottle of CLR that I was using. I just got it out from underneath the sink. We use it to clean the lime and calcium buildup on the shower heads and stuff like that. But it does a good job if you let it soak, getting rust off as well. So here's some of the tools that were already wiped off after they've been taken out of the CLR solution. And I'm just letting them dry because I don't want them to rust again. I've just got some regular motor oil that I'm going to put on a rag and then just rub the tools with the rag so that the oil will prevent them from rusting again. But you can see even though they're scuffed up and stuff, they cleaned up pretty nice just from letting them soak in the CLR. So here's a tool that just came out of the CLR solution, and you can see most of the rust just from mixing it around in there is already gone, but there's a little bit left in the crevices. So if you just take your rag and wipe it, all of the stuff that's not the most stubborn stuff will come right off. And you see that down there in the letters, all the rust is already gone just from wiping it one time. So if it's really stubborn rust, you might have to put it back in to soak again because it was real thick. But this is good enough for me. I can use this tool, and I don't have to worry about doing a lot of work to make it happen. The CLR did all the work for me. So this is a quick before and after pick. There's a wrench that I've cleaned the grease off of, but the rust is still there. And here's another wrench which I have already soaked for 24 hours in the CLR and then wiped off with a rag. And I didn't take it to a bench grinder or to a wire brush. All I had to do was wipe it off, and because the tool was chrome, it wiped off pretty easily. Most of them will. If you need a little bit more detail work, you can use a wire brush or a wire wheel on a bench grinder. So as you can see, it makes a little bit of a mess with your rags, and you got to have a couple buckets for all the solution to soak in. But it's nice because you can save some of those old tools instead of throwing them away. They might be a little bit pitted, but overall they work just as good as new. And the fact of the matter is, that stuff's built a lot better than the stuff you can buy nowadays. Shoot, I even saw a Craftsman at Sears is now made in China. So hold on to those old tools.